it's Ali. Welcome to Little Hill Homestead. So, a while ago, I'm gonna say like a year ago to be honest with you guys, I showed you guys really quickly, actually in the video, I didn't even show you, I just talked you through how to make your own bread flour. And we got a lot of people saying, okay, that's great, except that how do you make all these other flour options? So today I'm gonna show you, using all-purpose flour, how to make a bunch of flours you would normally pay for. So like pastry flour, cake flour, bread flour, and self-rising flour, all using all-purpose flour and 4 ingredients. One of them, vital wheat gluten, is one that you may have to pick up intentionally, but the others are baking powder, salt, and cornstarch, which you probably have. So if you guys want to learn how to make flours instead of spending your money on bags of flours that you probably just don't actually even need a whole bag of flour, like, you know, like for real. I don't use a lot of these very often, so when I do, I don't want to spend money on them. There it is. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is bread flour. I know I've shown you this before, but that's what we do. We're going to show you guys anyways. I keep my flour, I should show you guys from the start. I have a 5-gallon bucket, y'all. We keep these under a cute little table that we have in our kitchen. I keep unbleached all-purpose flour in this container at all times. I usually buy it at Costco. I think that's the best price that we get it. But it has a gamma lid, what is called a gamma 2 lid. And basically it twists off and it's airtight. It has this ring that snaps onto the top of your bucket and we keep it full of flour. I keep a little scoop in there. That's just, usually I don't even use it, let's be real. But that's what you will see me reaching into over here is my flour bucket. We use them for, actually we use them for a lot of things around here on our homestead, but we use them over in our kitchen. We keep sugar, rice, and flour conveniently located. And then in our like backup pantry that you guys have seen the tour of, we do oatmeal, laundry soap. I don't even know, you guys, there's more in there. Let's get started. Get to it, lady. Rant over. So the first one I'm gonna show you guys is bread flour. Bread flour is great because it is a higher protein. So it gives you a chewier bread. It like rises better. It's just better, you guys. Like it's just better. You can use all-purpose flour, but if you invest in a little bag of vital wheat gluten, your bread is gonna be exponentially better. Is that a word? I think I just used like word of the day toilet paper right there. So we get this from Azure Standard. You can get it on Amazon. My husband's laughing at me because I used a big word. No, I'm just kidding. We get this from Azure Standard because the price is significantly better than anywhere else. You can get it on Amazon. I will link a couple below. Seems like every time I recommend one, it sells out. So you guys always ask me, which one do I recommend? I've only tried like 2 on Amazon, and then I figured out Azure Standard has it for a lot less. So that is what I use. So for this bread flour, I'm gonna show you 1-cup ratios on all this, and then you can just multiply them by however much you need. So like when I do my own bread, it's 3 1/3 cups of flour. So I add just over a tablespoon of vital wheat gluten because I multiply it. But let's start simple. Girlfriend, don't get ahead of yourself. So for the bread flour, it is 1 cup of all-purpose flour going into the container. To that, I'm adding 1 teaspoon. This does not require a lot. This is basically straight gluten. If you have celiacs or you're sensitive, you might want to avoid this stuff. I'm just saying. This is a 1/2 teaspoon. My husband cooked and he put stuff in the wrong spot. We're good. Everything is as it should be now. He put the dishes away wrong. It's okay. Well,
that's impossible.
You're human. People make mistakes. It happens. I didn't put it away.
I never. Oh.
Anyways, this stuff, if you haven't seen vital wheat gluten before, what is it actually made out of? I don't even know, you guys, to be honest. Let's see. Vital wheat gluten flour. Okay, that's helpful. It looks like flour. It is texture-wise more like cornstarch, but it mixes right in and it just adds more protein to get it a higher percent so you get a better bread. I tend to use a whisk when I do this because I feel like it incorporates it into the flour without it helps it, I don't know, move around and aerate a little bit better. All right, how simple was that, you guys? Like I said, I will link a couple links on Amazon below. If you guys are on Azure Standard or you want more information on Azure, I'll link that below as well because I can't remember how much this bag was. I'll look it up and put that below too. Apparently you just don't need to even watch me. Just click the description below and I'll have all the information. So that's our bread flour. Ta-da! How easy, right? So, of course, the mailman or somebody shows up right now. It is what it is. So that is bread flour. It's very, very easy. I like it because you don't have to keep a separate bread flour from your regular flour. What I have, I will show you really quick. I keep this in my kitchen. I use this, typically I'd say I will make enough for like a month because I go through a lot of bread flour. I go through this bucket of bread flour probably once a week. We make all of our bread products from scratch. These came from Sam's Club. They still have them. They're in like the restaurant supply area. It comes with 2 or 3 of them. But I use this and I just make a big batch of it. And then my bread flour is ready to go when I make my bread, which I need to make more. So that's perfect because I'll just dump that in there. Anyways, that's bread flour. Enough on that. Moving on. Self-rising. I have to be honest that I don't use a lot of self-rising flour. Ever. Self-rising flour is great for biscuits and pancakes and quick stuff like that. But
That was my self-rising.
oh goodness. I was like, what is he doing? Okay, moving on. Self-rising flour is, to me, it's kind of old school. I don't use it very often. So when I do see a recipe that calls for it, I know it's either like a recipe my grandma would have made, or that's basically it. So for self-rising, this is, like I said, good for pancakes, things like that. Super quick, easy to go. This is 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Again, like I said, I get the one at Kirkland at Costco. I can't remember which brand it is. It's not helpful. Either way, I prefer an unbleached. That's just me personally. I should say, by the by, I should have said this at the beginning. If you don't want to use all-purpose flour, you can use whole wheat flour for any of these recipes, or you can use gluten-free flour as well. Make sure that the products you're putting into it, obviously you can't make bread flour because you're literally adding gluten to gluten-free flour, so that would defeat the purpose 100%. But the other ones, you should be good to go. Okay, what am I even talking about? Self-rising flour. I have 1 cup of flour. Train leaves the station like 16 times a day. Let's just say, whoop, gone. I need 1/2 teaspoon of salt going into this one. And then some baking powder. If you guys don't have baking powder, like everybody has baking powder if you are any kind of cook at all. You need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now this one, you want to make sure that your baking powder is really, really well incorporated into your flour. That's the biggest thing so that you don't have issues using it. So if you have clumps, you could even run this through your blender really quick to get everything incorporated really well, but you just want to make sure there's no baking powder clumps, there's no clumps of any kind, and you're good to go. This one I make as needed. I don't usually make this one and put it in bulk in tubs. Like, I just don't find I use it as much as I should, but there you go. So you just make sure it's really, really well incorporated. There you guys go, self-rising flour. How simple is that? Like, don't bother buying a bag. No need. Number 3. That's 4. Actually, I think there was 5 or 6 fingers out at the time. Number 3 is going to be cake flour. So cake flour is another one that you'd find at the grocery store. It is a lower protein than all-purpose flour, so lower gluten. You're going to use it in things like cakes, cupcakes, cakes. Use cake flour and cake.
That's my favorite flours.
Can you? So this one is going to be, it's going to cause things to be more tender and lighter and fluffier than standard flour. So we are going to start with 1 1/4 cups of regular flour. It just made my measurements easier for you guys. 1 1/4. I use a measuring cup that has lines on the inside. So I don't want to have a 4. I'm going to be covered in flour. Where's your apron, lady? In my Amazon cart? No, I'm just kidding. What was I adding to this one? Oh, duh, the next ingredient. Whatever, it's fine. For this one, to get it to be a lower protein and to get it fluffier, you actually add cornstarch. You can use arrowroot. I did not have as much success using arrowroot as I do cornstarch. So it is 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch going into your 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. This just adds a little fluff to your stuff. Fluff to your stuff? What is she talking about? This one too, I don't make in bulk ahead of time. That doesn't go on there, that goes on there. I don't make this ahead of time, I just make it as needed. That's just my personal preference. Because again, like, I probably should make it ahead of time because then I'd have a higher likelihood of using cake flour when I make cakes, because often I'll just make a cake. We actually made a Guinness cake last night. Yesterday. Isn't it pretty? I should have made it for you guys to show the channel, but I made a, well, it was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, but we made a Guinness chocolate cake, and it's a cream cheese topping. Oh my gosh, that cream cheese frosting is basically cream cheese, sugar, and whipping cream, and it's like, you don't even need the cake. All right, so there's our bread flour. Again, you just want to make sure it's really, really well incorporated into it. Last but not least, are you guys ready? Pastry flour. This is, again, another low gluten flour. So what you're doing is kind of breaking down an all-purpose flour to be a lower gluten content than it comes automatically to get it to be more tender and flaky and crummy. So think pie crusts or croissants or things like that. What you need for this one
Did you just call it crummy?
Crummy. It was crummy. What you need for this one is actually some of your cake flour. So we just made this cake flour. I'm going to use 2/3 of it right into my bowl. So pastry flour is cake flour basically broken down. That is it. So you're just getting it diluted. And we're going to add to that 1 1/3 cups of flour. Really, if you did some mathing, you could figure out just how much cornstarch just to add so that you had it ready to go, but I figured we already had this one here, so I'll have my husband math that up because he's much better. Why did I grab a fork when I'm using this the whole time and it's been glorious? Yeah, I don't even know what day of the week it is at this point. Garden season is upon us. I feel like I want to do nothing but spend time outside, so I don't actually do that. But also, I told you guys, you want my rant for the day? Here it comes. So I told you guys that I was going to be taking a step back from filming videos and putting them out less days a week, right? Because life is crazy and I just couldn't keep up with 6-7 days a week. So I pulled out my ceramics wheel 2 times. I have 0 painting done. I've done literally nothing but garden and do stuff for chickens. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to pump back up and get more videos going on the channel at a more per week rate. More consistently. You miss seeing my face. That's what you're telling me. So we are going to try to pump out 4 or 5 videos a week. We'll see. Some of them might be shorter little, check-ins on the garden and the chicks or simple things. And some will probably be longer like this. If you can handle me for 4 to 5 times a week, let me know below because I can't even handle myself. Let's be real. Anyways, there's your pastry flour.
I do okay.
Shawn can handle me. I can't even be with myself. I need some music on in the car or something to drown myself out. That's just my own thoughts in my head. Anyways, you guys, those are the 4 flours that we made. Our bread, our self-rising, our cake, and our pastry. So this is my thought. These are ingredients you already have. Stop giving them your money. Like I always say, keep it in your pocket. I mean, obviously you have to buy flour. We do have a mill, and we are working to do more fresh milled recipes. These you can't use with fresh milled flour. The ratios are gonna be off. When I figure those out, I will do another video that's a little more like with those. So use commercial flour for this. But y'all, I'm done. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. Let's be real. I think I've said let's be real 95 times. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic, no, here he comes.
Well, I just want to say you're the prettiest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, you are too.
You guys, I keep him at home. I don't let him leave the house because people can't handle him. Just kidding. Anyways, you guys, I appreciate you guys watching as always. If you guys have any questions or comments or flours that I missed, let me know below. I know I have a lot of people asking me how to make your own gluten-free flours. I don't have to use gluten-free, so I haven't messed with it very much. I may down the road, but not yet. But if you have any other flours that are, things you see, I don't know how to make rye flour. I'm not gonna make rye flour. whatever. Okay, moving on. But if you have questions or comments, or if there's a video you want to see us to make, that wasn't even English. But if there's a video you want us to make for you, let me know below. And if you want to see us more days a week, let us know that too. Okay, just let us know. Anything you want. Comment below. Thanks, guys.